Okay, we're here with John. I'm going to let John introduce himself to us, but he was a member of Accelerate Leadership Forum 10 recently. Excuse me. John, share with everyone a little about you, the role you play in this great company you're associated with, and then a little about this great company.
All right. Well, my name is John McDaniel. I'm the Vice President of Software Engineering at Teslar Software. We're a financial technology company. Our customer, we write software for banks generally, and we have been, in the last year, with all the changes that have gone with everything, we've had a lot of extra opportunities to do things that banks have needed in the past year, and it's been a pretty wild year for us, and we've been just trying to provide for our customer base.
That makes great sense, and I'd be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to Joe Earhart. You're also a leader of this company who founded it, and Joe's very, very smart, and he's really, really becoming a great leader. Just you can see it every day almost. He already was very capable. But what did it feel like when he chose you as his first participant in the Accelerate Leadership Forum? He kind of picked you out as the person who got the nod.
We talked about it a little bit. I don't want to say I was surprised, because that wasn't it, but I was very pleased that he did pick me, because he's been in the CEO forum, and he heard about the Accelerate Leadership one, and he asked me first. I was the first person that he asked to be into it, and I jumped at it. I thought that was a great thing. I've moved into this role here at Teslar, and it's a lot of new things for me, and having a forum like that with other people that some are new, some have more experience in doing that for a longer amount of time. It's just great to be able to talk to other people in the same position that I am, and in a manner that's open and controlled and kind of focused as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. John, if you were a CEO looking at this and you're thinking about placing someone in this Accelerate Leadership Forum 11 that we're working on now, that Ed Nicholson's going to chair. Thank you. And what might you say to that CEO as to why they might want to consider investing in their stellar performer and place them into this next forum?
I'd have a couple of things. One is being plugged into your community. All the members in the forum that I was in, they were all in comparable kind of positions that I am. And when we talked about things, we all had kind of the same point of view. Different aspects of whatever. I'm in a technology company, and we had a bunch of other types of companies that were represented there, and it's just a different viewpoint of the same sorts of things. And if you have all of the same person in the same type, then you're just going to get the same answers all the time. Mm-hmm. And having a mix of those people and those industries, it just gives you a wider range. It gives you more breadth of knowledge, I guess, when you are looking at some sort of topic, that whatever it is you're talking about, a lot of different viewpoints of it. Just make it where you can understand things better and empathize with whatever the topic is. It just made it a lot easier to understand.
It is enriching when you have 14 different industries, because we don't allow competitors, right, in the same industry. So you got 14, you might have a nonprofit or two or three, even before, we say 70-30, we're kind of where we have that, but we're one of the few, by the way, peer advisory groups. Most of them are all for-profit. And we're the only one that encourages and invites nonprofit leaders to come together with for-profit leaders, because we think there's a lot of similarities and they would benefit from being together, because the for-profit folks end up appreciating what the nonprofit entities are doing, and the nonprofit entities appreciate the private sector and what you all do and your challenges, and we learn from each other. John, what might you share, if you, as a beyond what you've already shared, as a candidate that's looking at joining? It's a 4-hour commitment, it's quite a bit of time. We expect everyone to be there every time. So we want discipline there because that's where we get our return. Anything you would share with a prospect that's looking at this, trying to determine whether they really have the time for it in their mind?
You know, the 4 hours going there and sitting with everybody, I liked going and being, together for, I mean, it sounds like it's a lot. I'm going to sit there for half of a day. Well, it's half of a day a month that you go and you talk and you go through stuff in the grand scheme of things. That's not that much time.
It isn't. And what I've found over the years, John, when we have those shorter ones, it's almost like doing yoga or meditation or something. You're doing like a half a session, it feels like, and you don't really get that mental, that third and fourth hour of just being away from your business is therapeutical because you're working on important things. You're adjusting your priorities, I think, in your mind. Someone else is presenting something that's very interesting, but your mind's still going on your stuff. You're comparing that and you kind of shuffle some things around, I think, and you kind of go back with a little more freshness as to what you need to do, to what's most important, I think. Do you sense that? You ever have that feeling?
I agree 100%. I don't know. I loved going and sitting there and listening and talking to the different people and seeing somebody's reaction. I mean, you think of, wow, 4 hours, what are we going to do for 4 hours? I mean, it goes. I mean, we didn't have a lot of dead time. We had a lot of participation and a lot of just interaction between the different members. It was great. I loved going to it.
Yeah, well, you had a great group, and Ed brought the best out in you. Any comment about Mr. Ed Nicholson, who's going to chair the next forum, who's our great chair of that program?
He's terrific. I mean, I can't say enough about it. I mean, again, those 4 hour sessions never seemed like 4 hour sessions, right? I mean, we were constantly moving. We constantly had an agenda and things that we wanted to do, and it all kind of flowed. It all made sense. It all worked together. It worked really well. Ed managed it well. We had good dynamics between all of the people. The topics all made sense as we're flowing through the different pillars, for example, and different people presenting at the different meetings. It was great. Can't say enough good things about it.
But John, thanks for your time. I know it's a busy time for you all at Teslar. It's one of the great companies in Arkansas, growing, hiring highways individuals, and one of the reasons our region's doing so well is companies like yours, and with leadership like yours and Joe's, and we're grateful you're in our region and doing great things.
I really appreciate that. I love what I'm doing right now. It's fun. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. And if you do have some sort of follow-on forum, I would definitely be interested in it.
Good. Well, we'll be back to you on that, and continued success to you, we hope.
All right. You too.
Okay. Thank you, sir.